Hello. Hi, everyone. Am I coming through okay? Is the microphone on this time? I had to do the thing again. Because this is technically a different scene. Or something. Whatever it's called. Anyway, none of that matters. What matters is games. Thanks for joining me, and we're going to be talking about games and stuff. Things that happen on the channel in August. Things that will happen in September, which is mainly because of how early Essen is. September is mainly going to be, well, maybe not mainly. It's at least going to be half Essen stuff. We'll talk about things that are lined up to arrive that will get playthroughs because they're arriving, so that they'll get playthroughs before Essen, which I think is like on the 5th of October or something, really early in October this month. Still not in the school holidays though, sadly. And yeah, there'll be games other than that. There's loads of Kickstarters to come. There's loads of Essen things. Yeah, basically all the things I didn't do because I was on holiday in August. Hey, they're getting done now. A lot of filming, but that's how August was. Am I coming through okay? I'll just ramble forever without checking. If I don't force myself, don't need to be on that screen. Right. Hey Steve. Hey Mikhail. Hey Willem. Hey Hans. How's it going? Everything's coming okay? Everything's coming to Millhouse, yeah. We went to Springfield. That was our holiday. So yeah, we talk about all of that stuff. Maybe Rachel will arrive as well. I'm not sure. Like, she is scheduled to come home during this stream because, like, once accidentally and last month intentionally, we've kind of had like little chats, I suppose, Q&A things at the end of these. We'll see. We can just have a chat anyway, though, can't we? I have got, like, we're talking about luring Marty gradually back into this room. He was in here just. He was like crawling into his little zone, and so I was like covertly setting his camera back up, and I swear as soon as it got plugged in, he's gone, and doesn't look like he's come back. So maybe on the Marty, still probably gonna have to wait for it to get a bit colder. Right then, so where should we start? We should probably start in August, right? And do the things. I need you up. I need you to be visible. There we go. So yeah, since some of the things are in parts, we're kind of revisiting some things that I already talked about, so like Eldritch Horror, hey, number 666. All of the parts of that are up now. I need to update that actually, because it says episode 4 coming soon. They're all there now. Yeah, you can see the entire adventure, and there might be one coming up. Probably not in September though. Probably in October for that. My Father's Work also got finished. All of the episodes of that are up now as well. And yeah, Rise of Fenris has continued. There's been a few more episodes of that. Yeah, I suppose it's an old game. I don't know why I'm so like funny about spoilers and stuff still, but you can see it all in the playthroughs. Things are getting unlocked. Things are getting a bit deep. Am I higher up than I normally am? My head seems to be in the way. I'm going to slowly lower myself a bit. Is that weird now? Yeah, everything looks weird. Rach joined me for a co-op stream. We did Horrified. Different characters, different monsters to the playthrough I did way back when. And hey, more on Horrified in a bit, I think. Come together, the start of the Pre-Essen games, the new game from Chili Fox Games. You're putting together a music festival. You can see a full 2-player playthrough of that. Woodcraft, the latest from Delicious Games, designer Vladimir Suchi, co-designed with Ross Arnold. It's all about your elves, and you've got a carpentry shop, a woodcrafting shop. You're improving it and stuff so you can make the best things. It's got a cool action selection mechanism. You can see all of that in the solo playthrough. There's a solo playthrough as well for Come Together. This list, by the way, should be linked in the description if you want to quickly get to a playthrough. It used to take ages linking them all individually, and I thought, I already do it in this list. Fenris Chapter 4 went up. Big unlock, big new playthrough with a paradigm shift. Snowdonia Isle of Man. It was kind of a patch plus an expansion for the master set. A whole new scenario that I hadn't played before, and I'm against Little Glass Marty in that. Apparently, like, I don't know if I'm getting this wrong. I read this probably years ago now, that like choose your own adventure and stuff don't qualify for Board Game Geek. They don't qualify as like their definition of games. I'm not sure why. I can't remember now. But anyway, yeah, this is choose your own adventure stuff, and this is going back to the childhood, going back to the 90s. This was Legend Maker, a very short-lived comic book series from 1994. So I'd been like 5 or 6. Yeah, it's a choose your own adventure stuff. You can see in the playthrough itself, it was a cool thing, right? Like that one's all sealed back up now. This is my like genuine issues 2 and 3, so they're really tatty. But like there's different levels of it. So like you go upstairs and downstairs. It's got 3 different levels. You go to the numbers as you might expect from a choose your own adventure stuff thing. Yeah, and in the first one, we're in a castle. We're trying to find the Orc Master and stuff and bribe people and stuff. I did a few playthroughs of it. There's at least kind of 3 full ones because it's it's just a comic. It's like a 20 pages or something like that with 3 different levels. Trying to get through some things. I think I got a page number wrong instantly. But yeah, I'll check that out. I'm pretty pleased by the number of people that have watched that as well, because it's not really relevant, is it? It's not something you can really get. But if you are interested, you can search Legend Maker. Stuff should come up on Google. So someone has scanned and archived the entire thing, including things that I never got. Right, yeah, maybe we'll do more of that in the future. It was really fun to do, and it seems to, like, don't get me wrong, it's not getting the views of like a hot new Euro game, but hey, it means something. Not that Euro games don't, but yeah, I didn't have Euro games when I was like 5. Rise of Fenris, Chapter 5. Big things are brewing. I'm just saying that about every single one now, being as vague as possible. Yeah, there could be fireworks in Chapter 6. And this is September, so this is cheating. Last night, Legacy of You. Well, Legacy of You launched yesterday, actually. Marty's just entered the room. On Kickstarter, new solo-only game from Garphill, publishers of the West Kingdom trilogy, the North Sea trilogy, and the latest one in the lineage that's got Hadrian's Wall in it. This is a solo-only campaign-based resettable game. Did a live playthrough of it last night. Technically, I know not recapping August talking about that, but yeah, you can watch that back. I've got a spoiler-free pack, so no story bits were gone through in that. So that's all of the recap stuff. Is stuff coming up on screen when it's meant to? I hope it is, because I get in the way of the main stuff. Hey, Donnie. You got the deluxe box for Snowden here. All you've played is the first mission 2 to 3 times. Yeah, like, well, I'd say like when we had the old version, the thing we played the most was, even though I had kind of little extra things that we picked up at the UK Games Expo and stuff, like from Tony. I think I bought my original thing from Tony way back when, probably like 2015, something like that, because he would have been there as a exhibitor. And yeah, the thing we played the most was the Snowdonia scenario, like partly from being kind of newer and more wary of stuff. Marty's padding, he might stay. But yeah, it was just a favourite as well. And so with the deluxe box as well, it's got so many scenarios that's amazing and will probably last forever, because I've probably played like 5 of them at this point, including the Isle of Man. That was part of I think Steve said as well, it was part of the incentive to do the Isle of Man thing, because my Isle of Man pack, I got it whenever I got it, as soon as it was available, and it was sat there sealed somewhere on a shelf. It's finally kind of integrated and all the fixed cards are all in the box now. And I could chalk up one more scenario onto all of the other stuff. So that's all the videos and stuff for August. August was pretty kind of, I know, like a lot of videos still happened, right? Because of the parts and stuff, there was still like 2-3 things a week, even while I was gone for 2 weeks. So we went on holiday for the first time in a few years. We went to Florida again, because I'm kind of a broken record and I'll do the same thing forever and never get sick of it. Having said that, Rach loves it too. And I can't really say that we went to Florida. We went to Universal Studios mainly. Some things outside of that. But hey, theme parking. There's a Velocicoaster. The Mummy opened again. It was great. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so everything that I filmed in August happened in the first couple of weeks of it. So I know I've said all this in the post as well on Patreon for the vote and stuff. So by the time like all the results happened and all the things I needed to do had to get done in the first, not even in the first 2 weeks, because they had to get done before I needed to actually get ready to go and stuff. Yeah, I know that the vote winners of August, which I think Carnegie won overall, I think not very far behind were the various fan-made solo variants for Stefan Feld games, which I've never played. I'm really interested in seeing how they've kind of been adapted, because I know that with the New City collection, they've got official ones now, but the games themselves might not be the same. So yeah, definitely going to do Carnegie with expansion modules. I think was the thing that won the vote, and yeah, some kind of solo feld variant will get done. I haven't forgotten about them, but yeah, they'll get done at some point when they're crammed in around all of this stuff. So caveat 1 for the things that are in the vote. Caveat 2 is, as with previous years, if things are getting sent to me early, kind of on the proviso that I can make a video before Essen. A video needs making before Essen. So these aren't in the vote because they're getting done one way or another anyway. And it's down to postage and stuff when the things get made, when they finally arrive in the, like, to my door. Like, something might get the fewest votes, but it's the only thing here, so it gets filmed first anyway. So I thought, like, rather than do all of that, the Essen stuff can be completely separate to the vote. But as a teaser, some of the stuff that, as far as I know, is here and may have arrived already. I'll tell you the ones that have arrived already. The ones that should be on the way before the show and getting playthroughs before Essen will be 11, the Football Manager board game. I couldn't care less about football itself as a thing. You might even say I dislike football quite a bit. But the board game is kind of, not gameplay wise, but similar to Portal Games' Pret-a-Porter, which is like, it's all fashion themed and you're a fashion business. But the game itself is kind of an economic engine building thing rather than just being a game about making dresses and stuff. It's actually something that Rach would prefer the game to be more about, just the fashion and making dresses side of it rather than the economic stuff. I think I remember a game where I was really rubbish at the shows and making dresses, and yet won because I was doing all of the fancy financial footwork behind the scenes. But anyway, so 11, it's that you are still, you're competing in leagues, you're playing games against teams, you're putting a team together and upgrading your players and stuff. But it's all about, getting the right management, having the right amount of money for all of this stuff to take place. We've only played a kind of a sample at the UK Games Expo. I think it was like a round. But yeah, the game should be coming with a load of expansions as well. Like there's an expansion that just makes solo mode, like it's got a story to it and stuff. There's loads of different things that can come with it. But yes, something will be coming for 11 when I think that's coming towards the end of the month. Hey Gemma, how's it going? Excited for all the games from Reporter coming out. We will be talking about one of them very shortly. Imperial Settlers, Empires of the North, Wrath of the Lighthouse. That just arrived this morning, actually. This is a solo-only expansion to Empires of the North. Fantastic game. That is a campaign-based, a story-based expansion. 15 solo scenarios. We're not going to be having 15 playthroughs, but I thought, yeah, if this goes well, this could be an ongoing thing at some point as well, because as much as we all love Hadrian's Wall, that solo campaign has only got kind of, is it like three, four more forts left to it? There's not many. We're nearly at the end. We need more campaigns. But yeah, Empires of the North, Wrath of the Lighthouse is here and will be coming up. Great Western Trail, Argentina. Really highly anticipated. It's Great Western Trail, but it's kind of tweaked. Well, it's set in Argentina, as you might expect, but yeah, it's got the basics, like as you can see here, like the deck management, the rondel, but it's got new types of workers, new types of cattle, shortcuts you can unlock. Who's beeping out there? I'm streaming. Yeah, there's new things. There's old things and there's new things. Oh, unfortunately. I was hoping to look behind me and see that Marty had settled, but it looks like he padded for a bit and he's gone. New from Artipia this year is Wordcraft, a smaller, quicker word game, but it kind of combines word game with area control in a card game. Interested to see what all that's about. That is here as well. Like, yeah, there's a kind of mountain of packages between the Essen arrivals and the Kickstarters that are coming up. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that needs filming. It's going to be non-stop this month. Lands of Galzir, I did a playthrough for the original campaign. It was GameFound, right? This is from Snowdale Design, who've previously done Dale of Merchants, Dawn of Peacemakers, both knocked out of the park in very different ways. This is a kind of an open world questing game, beautiful woodland animal creatures that we are playing as. But rather than being, you know, there is a big bad, we need to save the world, it's kind of, yeah, there's still peril, there's still stuff to be solved, but it's kind of lower key. You know, we're going on woodland adventures rather than we will become the mightiest heroes. There's still upgrades of our characters and stuff. There's like, I had a prototype that did have to get sent on after I made the playthrough, so I haven't played it since then. But yeah, I think there's like, I forget the thousands of words that are in it. Someone just made a post about like, why's the French version not ready yet? And Sammy said how many words are in this. 700,000 words of story are in this. Yeah, it worked so well in the bit that I had for the prototype. Can't wait to see the final stuff, because yeah, the prototype just had, you know, a selection of cards ready and certain choices in the entries. It's like, well, this thing isn't ready yet, so there isn't a text entry for it. Here's just the choice. This is going to have all of the final stuff in it. Can't wait for that. That's just been it's waiting to come into the UK. I'm so excited. Village Rails from Matthew Dunstan and Brett Gilbert, and I'm, well, not contractually obliged. I'm obliged based on how my brain works to mention Elysium and how good that game is, even though they've designed a million games separately and together since then. Hey, we'll play Elysium one day. Maybe I should have put that in the vote. This is a card game. I talked about this in the Gen Con video, I think. You're building a network of these rail cards here, and as well as building that network, you are finding cards that define the scoring for the row or column. So you want like a load of stations or a load of matching landscape types. So you are defining the grid itself and how that grid scores based on the stuff that you're buying. You know, there's marketplaces of each of the types of cards, and you can have the nearest one for free, or you've got to pay for the other one, so there's an economy going into it as well. You earn money for the lines as you complete each one. It looks so good, and I think yeah, you were hoping to, is it Village Rails you were hoping to pick up at Gen Con? So I think yeah, there's been you know, as there is with a lot of stuff lately, supply issues getting it there. I think it was supposed to be available in the UK before now, but I think, you know, fingers crossed, it should be on its way soon, and we'll get playing through it. Oh, I've tabbed out. Why have I done that? Hans, you've got Lands of Galzia on your table. Yeah, I've been very jealous of everyone on social media or in the Discord that's posted that they're playing it. Really excited about it. Not that I would have had time to play it yet. There's so many games like kind of separate to all of this stuff. My Arkham obsession continues, and I haven't been able to play it. Like, even in the few weeks before we went on holiday, too busy. The next like 4 or so weeks, I don't see it happening. I'm too busy. What's up next? Discordia. It's from Bernd Eisenstein, who designed Peloponnese. Another designer. Designed loads and loads of stuff since then of very different types. But Peloponnese, the best auction game, the best 2-player auction game, certainly. I'd probably go out on a limb and say the best auction game there has ever been. I don't think I've done a playthrough still for Peloponnese, but yeah, people have done playthroughs. You can see what it's like. I get it. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Always keen on anything that he does since. And similarly, Aporta Games have made so many amazing things at this point that just, yeah, you're doing a new Euro game? Great. I'm really, really interested. Yeah, and that's going to, hopefully, they're going to be on the way before the show. It depends on postage and when the prototypes and stuff are ready. So I think that's the Essen stuff that should be on the way. And yeah, there'll be there'll be some kind of you know, Essen preview, top 10 anticipated games before the show, I'm sure. Although the prospect, we did that stream, didn't we, when there was only like 100 games on the preview? How many games are on it now? Like, if we go on the go on the official one, Spiel 22 preview, show me everything. 839 are on the preview at the moment, and there's still another month for stuff to get added. There's going to be a lot of games to go through on that preview. It's always very daunting, and usually haven't got this much stuff to film. So yeah, that'll be a panic towards the end of the month. Let's not worry about that for now. Yeah, there's loads of Kickstarters. I won't go into these kind of in detail. If you have heard of them and you were wondering if I was going to do a video, I am. If you hear its name in a minute, and if you haven't heard of that game yet, and you're wondering, well, I'd like to know more about that, I'll have a video soon. I won't go through them too much, but there will be videos, either overviews or playthroughs, depending on what's been requested, for Kingdom Come Deliverance, Skull, The Fog, Philosophy, Legacy of You has just got done. Fate Forge, a story-based game from Mighty Boards that's the gameplay stuff is based on Vengeance, which I loved. Survival of the Fattest, Mind Your Business, Hitodama, Oceans, the solo expansion, Delta, Secrets in the Sand, and Fit to Print. They're not all September. Some of those are going to be October, but yeah, if any of those pique your interest, is that the right phrase? Yeah, they'll be coming up at some point soon. Kingdom Come Deliverance is on here. I'm in the middle of filming it. Here's a dice from it. There's a blank side of a dice. Hope that's whet your appetite. Here's the back of a mini. Yeah, there'll be a video very, very soon for that. So that's a lot of those things. Then the next thing is the vote. Yes, so all of that stuff's excluded. Obviously, Kickstarters never go into the vote. If it's an upcoming Essen game, it's excluded from the vote. When it arrives, it's kind of dictating when it gets filmed. So the arrivals that aren't for that are in the vote. And the first one, I think, kind of breaks that rule, because I think it might be classed as an Essen game, but we'll see. Terracotta Army. I did get people asking, especially around the Gen Con video time, are you going to be covering Terracotta Army? Yes, it's here now. So, well, maybe it's up to you. It depends on the how the vote goes, but yeah, it's just arrived the other day. It's a big Euro from Board and Dice. There's worker placement. There's area majority. It's got a solo mode built in that I don't think involves David Tursi. Usually look out for him because he does other people's games as well, doesn't he? But yeah, it got a lot of buzz. Would you like to see it played through? Because I'll do it. What's campaign? Revive's campaign. I think they've 5-part campaign unlocks additional contents, and once you've unlocked it all, it can be replayed indefinitely. I imagine there's going to be like a way, if you want to, you could just unlock it all if you wanted to. I don't know, sometimes when it's all kind of locked in and it's too simple, like, say, Taverns of Tiefenthal, I understand why they do it, because kind of lock the actual game away, but the game without all that stuff turned on is so much easier to grasp for, like, if just a family picked up like Taverns of Tiefenthal that maybe haven't played a billion board games, they would be able to play the game much easier than with all of that stuff turned on. But at the same time, for someone that's played a lot of board games, it would be nice to kind of have, well, this is how you just turn it all on at once rather than introducing it bit by bit. I'm not sure if that's how Revive's doing it. Or it's doing it like it sounds like you're unlocking stuff, right? You're unlocking additional contents to get the final game out there, because Maracaibo isn't quite like that, is it? There's a way of playing Maracaibo right from the off that ignores the campaign. It still has variable setup, or you can play through the campaign and unlock bits bit by bit. So yeah, maybe it'll be more like that. We'll see. So yeah, Terracotta Army, that's in the vote. It's here. Would you like to see a playthrough of it? Horrified American Monsters. I'll say one thing about there's not many board game related things about our holiday, apart from I do always hunt for board games, yeah, the something that seemed to be growing last time we went in 2019. That Target gets all these exclusive games. They had such stocked up board game shelves. Walmart were getting in on it and had loads of other things, and they were getting into the exclusives and stuff. It seems like that's died down a fair bit. Not so much in Target, because they have just got like Isle of Cats is in there, isn't it? That was like announced, I think, like the day we arrived, and we'd seen it in there. And they're getting it's a bit off topic, but they're getting a Spirit Island game, aren't they? It's like much easier to get into, Gateway Spirit Island, which I love Spirit Island as it is, but yeah, it's definitely a daunting thing to start playing, especially again if you are like newer to games and co-ops and stuff. Even like at 2 players, Spirit Island is a heavy one to be jumping into. So much more streamlined spirits and stuff. Sounds really cool. Unfortunately, I don't think that's coming out until October, is it? Definitely wasn't there when we were there anyway. But yeah, anyway, one of the things, I don't know if this is an exclusive or anything, but it hadn't made its way to England, is Horrified American Monsters. For all I know, the gameplay and stuff, and I imagine the gameplay will be very similar to Horrified, but it's got like American folklore rather than universal monsters like the first game was. This is, the Jersey Devil, Bigfoot, Mothman, the Chupacabra, the Banshee of the Badlands, and the Ozark Howler. I've heard of half of them. I imagine that I'd hope they would play in different ways. I think you can you integrate this into Horrified? It's a standalone game. I don't know. I'm just making that up. Maybe you can. But yeah, would you like to see some more Horrified? Because Horrified did get quite a few votes. Like when we're thinking of something to do with Rach, especially I think for our 2-player streams, it's much easier and much better doing co-ops, I think. Yeah, would you like to see what's new in this? Because I think it's supposed to be coming to England. Maybe it's already made it. That's what usually happens. I end up getting something from America and then I get back and it didn't need to. It's here already. But hey, that was in Target. And another thing I think is exclusive for now, Planted. This is a very beautiful looking game from Phil Walker Harding, who you'll know from a million things that now I'm suddenly panicked that I'm getting wrong. Sushi Go, right? Baron Park, right? A million other things than that. You're making a lovely collection of houseplants. It's a nice theme. The art is beautiful. It's a tableau building card game that, I haven't seen anywhere else. So I picked that up as well. Oh dear. Next up. Apparently we're moving on. I've clicked the tab now, so we're moving on from that. I've had a couple of things from Games Workshop. The other one is more like the usual stuff that I would cover, because, this is definitely more confrontational and competitive than I would usually cover. This is Blitz Bowl Ultimate Edition. I don't really know what the difference between Blood Bowl and Blitz Bowl is, other than my imagination and seeing the playtime. It's much kind of more streamlined and a shorter experience. Blood Bowl is like American football with fantasy monsters. I used to play it loads, I don't know, years and years ago, nearly 15 years ago probably. Back when Games Workshop, it seemed like the people in Games Workshop didn't want you playing it. Now, thankfully, they've turned around from that kind of attitude. But yeah, it was all about kind of American football stuff that I don't really know that much about, but trying to hurt and kill the other team members as you were tackling them and stuff, and you would get XP and new skills and stuff. Loved Blood Bowl. 100%. I've still got Blood Bowl in some kind of configuration. The box is nearly empty because you didn't need the rulebook. You had to get it online because it was a living rulebook, and the teams were in separate boxes because they were kind of painted and stuff. Yeah, my Blood Bowl is strewn across the house in the mists of time. I think I've still got enough to play it. It wouldn't be my kind of game at all anymore, though. Even then, there was always some dread playing Blood Bowl that, these characters that I'd spent so much time playing with and leveling up were just gonna die, and that'd be it. But that was that was the point of it. Anyway, I remember a ball, the ball would bounce and you'd have to roll a dice and look at a template to see where the ball was bouncing. There was a great big ruler that you would make a pass, and depending on how far you were passing, you got negative modifiers and stuff, and you'd have to make Hail Mary passes and stuff. That's kind of that exists, right? Anyway, it's not exclusive to Blood Bowl. But yeah, good times back when I liked different things. But that was kind of the driving force to there were some new things coming from Games Workshop, and yeah, what would I like to play from that? I would like to, me and Marty, as a one-off spectacular, if this gets enough votes, we'll duke it out in Blitzball. I don't know, has it got the? I know it's got the Skaven versus the humans. It's 6-a-side. And it's got the same kind of action. Do you go through a season? Do you still level people up in Blitzball? Hey, if you want to find out, then yeah, let's multiple balls. What? Hey, maybe it will bypass things. Maybe we'll get enough votes, and it'll be a great playthrough. And Michaela used to play loads of Blood Bowl 20 years ago. I haven't tried Blitzball. Yeah, because it's come out in a few different. I know Blood Bowl. I don't know how different Blood Bowl 2016 edition is to the one I was playing in 2007, but yeah, there's been a few different Blitz Balls, right? There's been this one, there's been season 2, I think, and there's the Ultimate Edition is the one that I've got. So I'm not sure about the nuances and the differences between that and Blood Bowl and the various versions of it, but like I think they're coming out in England, but aren't they like? I think the three various things. There was this one. There was a 40k one that was like arena combat, and the one that we'll talk about in a minute. That are, I think they're sold in Barnes and Noble in America as kind of introductions, easier to get into games. You know, they're yeah more approachable than maybe the huge box Warhammers and 40ks. Although yeah, my experience of Warhammer is like more than 15 years ago. I know it's completely different now. They reset it, didn't they? I don't think the Lizardmen exist anymore. My friend was telling me. What am I supposed to do with my old suitcase full of vaguely awfully painted miniatures? Yes, the other things. So the Arena Combat 40k, I knew that, like, I know this is a bit too confrontational anyway, but the past made me intrigued. And the other one, the Arena Combat one, it just wouldn't work though. And I never played 40k, so I haven't got any nostalgia for it. The other new one is Warhammer Quest Lost Relics. So yeah, again, I haven't played any of the other things. Is Cursed City like Warhammer Quest and stuff? Like, I haven't played any Warhammer Quest, basically. I had Hero Quest, which I don't think is very similar, although Games Workshop were involved, and that was like 30 years ago or something, wasn't it? But yeah, never had the... Like, there was a card game, wasn't there? There was like a Warhammer Quest card game that was supposed to be quite good that... Was it like Heroes of Terranoth once they lost the license and Fantasy Flight separated from Games Workshop and stuff? I don't know. Like, I assume this is just something all of its own. There are minis. I haven't got to glue them together, but I've got to clip them off, like, those sheet sprues. That's the word, isn't it? I've got to clip things off sprues to play these games. But yeah, this is a dungeon crawl kind of game. Would you like to see some Warhammer questing? There's going to be characters. There's going to be cooperation. There's going to be dice. Surely there's dice, right? Yeah, dice rolling. There's got to be. Yeah, and that's one of the upcoming or just released things in the Games Workshop range of these like little box individual games that I assume, like, could you use the stuff in the normal? Like, I suppose, like, at the very least, it gets you clipping things off sprues, doesn't it? It gets you putting these minis together. Maybe it gets you painting them, and then you're wandering into Games Workshop and, oh, how do I complete this army? And now I'm playing all of this stuff. I hope they're great in their own right. Like I say, I haven't played them yet. I'm waiting for your vote. No, I was on holiday and stuff. Gradually recovering from all of that because, yeah, like it's only kind of in the last... I'm feeling a bit funny today. Like, we've been back for nearly a week. It was like a nighttime flight Wednesday night to Thursday morning, which was horrible. And Manchester Airport is horrible. But yeah, I don't know if it's jet lag because it seems to come and go. But yeah, I've been feeling a bit weird and groggy this week, even though, yeah, stuff's getting filmed. Hopefully, it's all right. The Legacy of You playthrough went quite well, I thought. It was a lovely roller coaster, like it was last time when we did... was it Wayfarers of the South Tigris? Get the name right? Yes, I think I am. Yeah, that was a lovely bit of a roller coaster stream, wasn't it? Warhammer Quest adventure card game. There we go. Reborn as Heroes of Terranoth. Yeah, always heard it was great, and I've never played it. And now I don't think either of them are available now, are they? Because like hasn't Fantasy Flight pretty much stripped down most of what it makes? Like it's like what does it like? It does its card games, doesn't it? It's living card games. Does it make stuff aside from those anymore? I haven't been keeping up with the shift in things. Where's Arkham Horror 3rd Edition expansion? It probably doesn't do as well as the others. Hey, I wasn't that much of a fan when it first came out, but hey, things are moving on. One of them was a great big... well, it's not going to end up as a great big playthrough, but one of them was an insert for an Arkham Horror that I've got. Laserox inserts. You'll be seeing them in a video. I'd never seen them before, but yeah, it's a really cool insert if you're into your Arkhams. But yeah, those are the things that are in the vote then. So if you were on Patreon, patreon.com/slickerdrips. I'm pointing at the wrong bit of the page. The vote for those games is right up there. And I kind of said in the rambling vote post that, yeah, it's always a worry when they're like, oh, well, all of these new games that everyone's excited about aren't in the vote, and there's only a few options. Hopefully I've explained why in all of that other stuff, and that you're into at least one of those games that's coming up. Yeah, it's maybe I worry too much about these things, but I think Warhammer Quest was winning last time I looked. It was, but Terracotta Army has swept in there and is running away with the lead at the moment. But yeah, there's plenty of time to vote and choose what's going on, because yeah, they're going to get filmed as soon as I can. Whatever wins, at least one of the things I like to film. Usually, I'm out here saying, oh well, I usually film loads of the things from the vote, but yeah, there's Kickstarters, there's things from last month's vote, there's Essen games to do. I'm gonna try my best as always, but yeah, it's always worked around. I always like I forget that like you might not know, like I've got a job as well that I do, so like some of the days I'm not here to do all of this stuff, and it's hard to cram it all in. But things work out eventually, don't they? Like, I didn't think that I would get enough stuff filmed to be going up while I was on holiday, but somehow it happened. I did plan for like probably about 5 more playthroughs, and then realised towards the end there is no time to do all of this stuff. But yeah, stuff worked out, didn't it? Great filming. Hey Dana, interested in Mind Clash's game, new game Astra. Always interested in Mind Clash games. But is that coming? Let's get it up and have a look. I'm always interested in whatever they do, basically. Because in a highly interactive tactical contest for fame. Okay, then maybe I'm not as interested now. It's come out direct to buy. Let's have a look. No, I haven't seen anything about it yet. So this is you heard it here first. Well, you didn't. I heard it here first. So we're astronomers assisting each other, but in the end only one of us can become famous enough. Okay. Change players' turns till we've taken a certain number of constellation cards. You observe or rest. Observe, spend stardust, discover stars using your dry erase marker. I like it. You only mark stars in a straight line. You can spend telescope tokens to start new observations, and then you take the card, but everyone else benefits from the discovery as well. Okay. Well, that sounds cool. The actual body of it sounds really interesting, but whenever anything's marked highly interactive, usually, not always, usually things bragging of their level of interaction mean that it's going to be too mean for us. How does it work at 2 players? Well, there's bidding. Oh, there is a section about 2-player rules. It's not bidding in the sense of putting things... In a 2-player game, each player takes actions using a neutral colour as well that keeps things balanced and tense. Like a semi-dummy player behind it. That sounds cool too. I like dummy players. Rach, on the other hand, who I play everything with, really dislikes dummy players. So I don't know how that would... Yeah, the thing... Surprising card grabs... Oh, so, like, is the interaction in that, like, you're both kind of competing to fill in a card first, and you might do a load of work on a card, and then another player takes it away from you and you don't get anything? You can play it many ways. Social deduction, negotiation, Euro engine building. That would be the kind of way I would want to play it. Oh, you can have different focuses in it? I suppose, like, these are just people that are talking about it. Yeah, my concern from its tagline, which I assume is, like... put in by the publisher, be things that boast of their interaction usually mean negative interaction, and I don't like no negative interaction. Less and less as the years wear on. I'm less and less tolerant of it, even to the point of like ignoring bits in it in games, like some of the older games that we've got. We end up getting rid of them though, like. Was it? I can't remember the year now. Is it Brussels 1873? I remember loving it so much, like way back when, and we didn't play it for years, and we played it again. Was it last year? And yeah, the system's so good, so different from everything else, but so mean. And back when we were playing it, we still would have not liked the meanness, but would be much more willing to kind of sidestep it and not do it, but still like, oh, we're still enjoying the game, but we'll just not do that bit of it. Whereas there's just so much now that we've got and that gets made that's just got none of it in, that yeah, it's a weird shock to the system when we play some of those things now. But yeah, I'd give them the benefit of the doubt, because they've made some amazing stuff that I'd like to cover again at some point. But yeah, we'll see. It sounds intriguing. Hey, Mind Clash. Remember when I made videos? Well, I still made videos. Remember when I made videos of your things? Send us one if you want. Right, so yeah, the vote is up now on Patreon. I can't quite point to it because I don't know how mirrors work, and my arm gets cut off there. Marty. Ooh, can I get him up? Is this going to work? Hang on a minute. Right. Is this going to change? Right, Marty's here, basically. I can get him on camera if this works. Bear with me. This is a... Well, it's not a first for the channel, is it? But it's a first in many months, I think. Is he appearing? Oh, that's cool. I can make him just appear in this kind of screen here, but not on the main screen. Has he just appeared? Hopefully, that's ending up on the video that you're seeing. Looked up for a bit, and he's back to sleep on his favourite blanket. Well, that's our blanket. We bought this massive, like, lovely throw for like the sofa last winter, and someone took over it, so we had to buy him like a miniature version of it. No, he's not like... You saw how pleased he was before I pointed the camera right at him. And now he probably just doesn't want all the talking. So his little leg tucked underneath the games there. I need to change the command now. I don't know if he's going to start appearing on the stream again. But this is only like... It's taken him like 45 minutes to come in here, and I've had to close the doors of all of his other haunts, so he's probably not very happy in general. He would love to be curled up on the bed like he has been pretty much since we've got back. But it's like he's been very pleased, like, rather than like being kind of like, if he's taken to the vets, he's really annoyed afterwards and is dead off with us. But coming back from, he's been in a cattery for 2 weeks, which he does like. He's been there before, not for a while because I haven't been on holiday for a long time. But yeah, he's come back from that and been especially lovely. But yeah, still not that bothered about being on a camera and being anywhere where you are, really. But sometimes maybe this marks the return of the Marty cam. This is where he was hanging out before everything got too hot in here. He's picking tapestry. Yeah. You can see a shelf of games that never really gets looked at. It's like, it's here. Why can't I work this out? It's like just to this side of me. I don't know why that's always such a problem every time. I've been thinking from like a few things, partly like all of these games arriving and stuff. It's only been a few months since I really kind of was harsh about games and got rid of a load of stuff. I kind of filled it back up again, and yeah, getting rid of all that stuff didn't make that much space on shelves. I've been thinking I need to get really harsh with things. I don't think, though, looking at that shelf kind of from the side, I don't think there's anything that I could bear to part with from that shelf. But yeah, generally, I've got to look around at stuff and just be really harsh with it. Like Scythe, I got Scythe back and was so excited and did that playthrough where I think I said in those, if I did a second impressions of it, that I've gone back to Scythe and I can't believe it's been away this long. And then I did all of the Rise of Fenris that is going to be coming up, like bit by bit when things get edited. And now I'm kind of thinking, well, I've played all of that. I'm going to keep playing it more. Probably not anytime soon, but am I just going to get rid of it and buy it back again? I don't know. It's really tough getting rid of things. But like, I'm not up to date with the like collection on Board Game Geek, so I don't know how many things it is. It's hovered at kind of 200, 250 in the past. I would hope that it's less than that now. But really, it's too heartbreaking getting rid of anything. But realistically, you need to, don't you? Like, should I have more than 100, really? I don't know how I'd whittle it down that much. Like, there's books on some of these shelves. Steve's the bot these days. How did you say the second part of what the bot normally says? How did that work? Oh, I see. You cleaned it up. Yeah, the bot can't separate. How have you got the... Oh, you've tidied it up. Yeah, I need to tidy up how the bot says things so he can say that in one bit of chat. But yeah, I can't quickly change what the bot says over the course of this. But usually Marty ends here. But there we go. So Marty might return. Rach, let me check my phone, see if she's imminently going to arrive. She's not. So I think she'll have to come back. We're thinking, like, there wasn't time to do one this week, unfortunately. But next week, we're hoping to do a Friday stream. Not sure what of yet. But maybe, if it's getting any attention, maybe it could be Horrified. If not, we'll have to think of something else. Because, like, usually like a Stefan Feld, Rach loves, but yeah, I just think, yeah, for both of us, co-op's probably better for the live streams. So if not Horrified, I'm not sure what it'll be. We'll see. But yeah, in terms of streaming this week, there is going to be Hadrian's Wall tomorrow at 8 p.m. So in about 27 hours. We're going to hopefully get a double bill of it this month because we didn't get a chance in August. So that's hopefully going to be a double one. And that's it for the live streams this week. There's loads of filming going on. So on Patreon, hopefully there's going to be like stuff going up early. Maybe not too early because I haven't had as much time as I would like to film the stuff because, yeah, I went away selfishly. But yeah, there'll be videos popping up quite soon of some of these Kickstarter things that I'm filming this week. And then, yeah, as the month kind of goes on, it will transition from, oh, wow, there's a load of Kickstarters with deadlines that I need to film, to, oh, wow, there's a load of Essen games with deadlines that I need to film. But yeah. Hey, Sean. YouTube wouldn't let you comment unless you're unsubscribed and resubscribed. That's strange. Yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe I shouldn't be putting it into subscriber only mode. The main reason for that is just like, I know Steve's here in his mod capacity, but like if it's in subscriber mode, the spam bots don't subscribe. Here, I'll turn all of that off. Yeah, if it's in subscriber only mode, and like if someone new came along and did want to say something, you only have to subscribe for 5 minutes and then it lets you. But yeah, if it's not letting people that are subscribed comment, maybe I should leave that off. And Marty's making his return. Can you look at everyone, please, Marty? There you go. Oh, so sleepy and so fed up. Hey Carmen, would be covering Terracotta Army solo or multiplayer? Generally, I would say solo, but it depends what you'd want to see. Like, I always like I don't think I've actually said it in the post because I was rambling about a billion other things. But yeah, always let me know if if there's something that I've said in the vote, if you want to see it a particular way, let me know, and whatever the prevailing opinion is, I'll do. But I would gravitate towards like, and I'm aware like, you know, we want two-player things sometimes, and we want Little Glass Marty in playthroughs sometimes, but especially for heavier Euro games, it's a lot easier to keep track of just doing a solo playthrough of it. And hopefully, like most games, the solo mode, at least what I'm doing on my turn is the same for other turns. Oh dear, the stream isn't lagging, is it? Thunder is starting outside, and I can see my little stream window here doing the loading swirlies. Hopefully it's not hiccuping too much. Hey Doug, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Hey Carmen. Gemway, how about the Feld City games? Would love that. I have actually, I've messaged Queen Games because originally, way back when, I was supposed to do, I think, Amsterdam. I was supposed to do that with a prototype for the original Kickstarter, and it didn't get made, or something happened, and it never ended up happening. So yeah, I've reached out, and yeah, they're being made, they're being fulfilled. Something's happening in Germany, so it's kind of a if they're available, we'll send them, but don't know like when they will be. I think is the status of that. So I haven't put them in like the definitely upcoming things yet, because it was a bit like everything else that I've mentioned is a lot more confident that will be happening before Essen, if that makes sense. Whereas the City games, I hope, are coming up very soon, but yeah, we don't know. Sean, not seen that before. And only 5 minutes. Maybe it was just yeah. Hopefully, it's not been holding too many people up. But yeah, it's the chat is like the spam bots aren't as much of a problem if like the chat isn't on screen, and Steve's here stamping them out anyway if they do pop up. Yeah, it's partly why the chat isn't on the screen, to be honest. But also, like, I've been wondering whether we should be streaming on Twitch as well. I wonder if it confuses things though. If you're on like both things, like there's another audience that maybe isn't watching on YouTube that you're potentially reaching out to. But yeah, the chat needed to be on the screen, really, didn't it? If you were streaming to both places, because someone would say something on one place and I'd be talking about it, and the people in the other place would be like, he's talking to himself. I don't know if that'll come back. Marty's channeling the Stone Mire 10th anniversary. Oh yeah, has everyone seen the little Stone Mire game that's coming out? Is it on Board Game Geek yet? For Stone Mire's 10th anniversary, this is going to be available to pre-order, and I think if you buy anything... Oh, I realise the browser isn't up now for anyone but me. Marty. Marty's going to be in the way of it. Marty, shrink down a minute. Yeah, I think there's something where you get it cheaper, or if you order something else, you'll get it. But yeah, this is like a little picture building game, like a little, like it's like an 18 card game, something like that. Yeah, micro game for 1 to 2 players, because it's of course got Automa Factory mode in it, and all of the games, it's lovely Vincent Dutrait art. All of the games are reminiscent of different Stone Mire games over their 10 years, and there's also, like, I don't know if they've been available before. What's happened now? Where have you gone? There's, like, I think there's packs for Rolling Realms. I think one's been available, but only from maybe a German publisher before. I think they're coming to the Stone Mire store soon as well. I was just trying to remember the newsletter that got sent out a couple of hours ago. Because, yeah, I haven't got any of those promo packs. So, yeah, there's one for A Feast for Odin. There's one for Smitten. And there's one for Honey Buzz, like the extra realm packs that you can plug into Rolling Realms, which would be cool as well. Should do some more Rolling Realms stuff. Did I only ever do that solo golf video? Should do more of that. Should do more of everything. There isn't enough time in the world, unfortunately. Let's make Marty big again. Not that he's doing much, but he's doing as much as he ever would do on a stream. This is a glimpse into the life of Marty. Terracotta Army Solo doesn't come in the box; it's on PDF to print. Oh, right. Do you need any? Is it just rules, or are there like components that you need to use in it? I'll do that as well. Smitten and Between Two Cities Essential Edition. Oh, right. Oh, is that like? I imagine based on Viticulture, it's like using bits from the expansion, but not all of it. Between Two Cities was great, and the expansion was fantastic as well. Maybe it was a bit much having it all on there. I'm planning on going to Essen. So far, no. I was planning on it, but I think generally, like, usually I won't be able to kind of definitely say whether I can until kind of quite close to the event, and just the way things are, it costs a fortune to stay there. I used to think, like, it's partly because I was staying like in the city, but I remember in 2019 the hotel that I stayed at, it was something like 90 euros a night, 100 euros a night, I think. And even back then, I was thinking like, this is so expensive to stay here. Like the flight is like, I suppose flight wise, it's not that expensive, but the rooms that I've been seeing, like loads of places are just sold out, and it's like 160, 200 pounds a room. I think it's just kind of priced me out, and like the price of everything going up, and will I have to like declare them coming back in, and like if I send them to myself now, have I got to pay a load of tax on them because we cut ourselves off from Europe for some reason, for no reason, well, for nefarious reasons, unfortunately. Yeah, there's those kind of things, but the main thing is just the kind of the travel kind of, but mainly the accommodation costs are just going to be too much, and I like feel like hopefully there'll be more coming after the show, and stuff will just come out anyway. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming up just anyway. I'd love to be there, mainly more than racing around to pick up games, which I'm sure I would end up doing anyway. It would be nice to see people. It would be nice to see some of these publishers, especially publishers that don't go to the expo. And I didn't get a chance to see everyone at the expo as well, that I wanted to. And yeah, they're always at Essen, because it's a big convention as well. It's always nice seeing people that watch, and patrons and stuff that usually, well, partly reclusive because of lockdowns and stuff, but yeah, just shut in my hole. And usually Essen's a good way to get out, but yeah, it's just so much, like, and maybe it always was that way, and I'm kind of forgetting because of the gap from them. Like I wasn't going last year, partly like out of like, I think it would have been cheaper last year. I think it would have been much more affordable, but I was kind of like, I don't want to go to anything like in general still. Like it was like, and still now, like there's usually like, I don't know if it did at Gen Con, but at other cons has kind of been like an outbreak after that. But yeah, the biggest thing, the biggest hurdle is just like, I could probably afford it, but I don't know how many like games I'd be able to come back with, and that's not the biggest thing, but it was at least always part of it that like, oh well, everyone wants to see all of these games, I will pick up all of these games. I don't know if that's even doable. And like there's other stuff as well, that like travel in general, like I know flying to Germany isn't that huge a thing, but like I don't particularly like travel that much. I really don't like going on my own, and really since like, just because Essen don't schedule their conventions around UK school holidays like they should do. Yeah, Rach hasn't been able to go since 2017 is the only time that she's been able to go, and that's probably like 2016 was kind of the wonder of like seeing Essen for the first time, and 2017 was like Rach could go and a friend of ours could go for the first time, and we drove there and it was all fantastic. And yeah, so I've only been to like 4 in total, but yeah, on my own since then. And like staying on my own isn't that much of an issue, but yeah, it's I find it's a lot easier for me, especially when I'm on my own, to just kind of be a recluse in my room and just like be at the convention as long as I've kind of got the energy for it. I probably don't play that many things because I'm just kind of running around with ridiculous bags of games, kind of racing to the stall to send them back in huge boxes, which, you know, it isn't like what Essen is about. It's kind of what I did, but it's kind of like my duty to be that, to like buy these things, get given these things. They need to get back. You got to film them all. You can't do them all because there isn't enough time in the world. And like, yeah, that like, I would kind of like in 2019, I was kind of thinking that like each time that I went, that's, oh, so it's kind of going to be different, and I'm going to do this thing differently. And just kind of the way I am, I'm not going to do it differently, really. Like, It's unless I'm kind of getting invited to stuff and need to be at places like Paul of Gaming Rules would always do kind of a, I don't know how to term it, like a collaborative meetup. Like it was a Gaming Rules meetup and Slicker Trips meetup and board game ramblings and stuff. Like I think did it in the past. Like so, I would go to those things, but generally, other than that, I would just kind of stay on my own and not really play anything, not really do anything, and kind of be fed up that I was there in the hotel room. It was really annoying in 2019 that like there's partly my fault as well. The flight was so early on the way back. I think it was at like is it at like 6 in the morning or something like that, and you got to be at the airport a couple hours early. So like I couldn't sleep the night before because I was so paranoid about not making the flight back, like not being up for the taxi that would get me to the flight back and missing the flight. And I think that was the year that I missed the flight there. And yeah, maybe bad travel experiences, which like I always hear about. I'm sure most people get there fine and it's just outliers, but never hear like a bad travel story on the way there. I think Paul had a rough time. Was it getting there last year? Yeah, there's it's mainly the travel part of it and the fact that the way that I am means that I just get kind of really stressed and anxious about getting there, about being there, about getting back from there. Yeah, I would love to work differently and kind of enjoy it more, but yeah, a combination of kind of muling all of those, well, not muling because that's getting games for other people, isn't it? Kind of, yeah, getting a ridiculous amount of stuff together and working out how we're going to get it back and all of that stuff, and kind of my personality. Yeah, they don't make for a great convention time, unfortunately. So that anyway, there are times where I kind of convince myself that like, no, you're just going. And the time that I've convinced myself most recently, I've found that I think it's just too expensive. Like, so it kind of cuts all of those pros and cons out of it. Yeah, it's always been pricey as well. Like, I think the cheapest time that I did it, like when we all went together, that was a lot cheaper because, you know, our friend drove. We gave him petrol money, I hope. I'm pretty sure we did. And we stayed in like an Airbnb together, so splitting the cost of that would have made it cheaper too. And it was years ago. Everything at every angle is getting more expensive. So that's a factor as well. And when I went on my own, I didn't really know that much about it as well. So like the flight was kind of cheap, and I stayed in, where was it? Was it Duisburg? So it wasn't that far away, but you needed a train to get to it. And luckily the public transport in Germany is amazing because the government runs it. They haven't sold it off to for-profit companies. No politics, please. Yeah, so it was cheaper because I stayed at a place, but I also had to, you know, lug all of that stuff to a hotel room. Like, you got to get to the train, you got to get through the system, like half an hour traveling or something to another place. So that would make it cheaper, but yeah, I don't really want all of that travel every day as well. Martin Wallace is going. Oh, cool. Hi, Rach. Look who's on stream. Look who's going to be leaving the stream. But maybe, who knows? There's still a month. Maybe something will happen, but as far as I know, no. Packs you, the hotel's the biggest expenditure. Yeah, it just gets worse and worse as well. And I suppose it's like, it will always be like that. There probably aren't really going to be more hotels, but there's definitely more people wanting to go every year. So it's just going to get more expensive, isn't it? Where's the camera go up to? There's the camera, right?
Up here.
Well, we're finishing shortly. Okay. Well, I'm meant to be, but I'm just rambling. We're answering cues. Tell everyone about Orlando, Rach.
It was great.
What do you think of the board game scene in Orlando? And by that I mean the board games that are on the shelves in Target and, well, I would say Walmart, but there is a distinct lack of board games in Walmart. Let me get Marty in the other corner. What was I saying? Steve, you've only been to Dice Tower Cons. Is Dice Tower Con, so you're saying it's different? Is it more like a play-in game? Oh, you say in the next comment, yeah. So, yeah, Aircon's meant to be like that, but we've never been to Aircon. We are going, like, our only kind of confirmed things. We went to the UK Games Expo, and we're going to GridCon, the Gaming Rules Convention, that's in November, right? Whenever it is, we're booked for that. So that's enough of a big travel thing. That for us, that's down south. And Marty's going off camera as well. But yeah, that's more of a, well, it's almost an entirely playing games con. What's the one where we stayed at well, you could stay at a university. We didn't, did we? Manacon. Yeah, that's another one in England where it's mainly about playing games. But yeah, Essen is, there's demos and stuff, and there's plenty of people play in hotels and stuff. But the general thing is, like, new stuff's coming out, sell the stuff. Well, buy the stuff from our side. And UK Games Expo there is more play-in space, but it's still mainly buying things in it. There just isn't as much stuff coming out. Yeah, definitely sensory overload at Essen. So go traveling to Essen from the US. Yeah, I can't imagine, because like nothing's cheap about going to Orlando on holiday, but I'm pretty sure like the biggest cost of the package that you're booking is that the flight is just so expensive now, just like for us to get to, I know it's a holiday destination and stuff, and it's probably not going to be the case. Like, flights from here to Essen generally tend to be very cheap, because even though there's convention going on, I doubt, like, it's always a tiny plane. The plane's always like less than half full when I've gone. Maybe that's the times that I've gone though. But bucket list for sure. Like, I'd love to go to an American convention as well. Like, I don't know if any, like, there's Gen Con, isn't there? And that'd probably be the one that we went. But like a Dice Tower Con would be nice. It'd be nice to go to a game play in one. But I don't know what we'd play as well. Yeah. Hey, Rach. Hey, Rach. Angie loves your dress, Rach. Hi, Angie.
Thanks, Angie.
Give us a twirl, Rach.
No.
It's more, Dice Tower is a more playing con. Yeah, Marty's shrinking and gradually slinking off the camera. And you get the Feld City games from Paul to cover them. Hey, Paul, send us them city games. Paul's just had, well, it's not my Woodcraft, it's a prototype of Woodcraft. Paul, I think, should have received it by now. So yeah, that should be coming up on his. Wing them city games my way. Well, I imagine they're lovely final copies that he's got. Hey, Ross. Woodcraft Ross. You're flying to Essen from New York City. Oh, wow. Yeah, I imagine that's a fortune. Like, it's, I don't think we've ever looked at like New York and stuff, have we? We've looked at like flights to really Orlando and LA and stuff. I think he's received them all and covering one a week. Yeah, I think he's got them all as far as I know. But like, they're like sponsored videos and stuff. So yeah, I assume like that's how he's got Frosthaven. Like, he's doing the rules video for Frosthaven, so he's got one of the few mythical copies of that early. Oh, hey Ross, we talked about Woodcraft earlier. Paul just got the copy of it. Yeah, you can watch my playthrough of it, my solo playthrough, and Paul will be coming up with one quite soon, I imagine. But right, I think, unfortunately though, for people that have just joined us, like, this is the end. I went through all of the games and stuff ages ago. We've just been chatting for a bit, and yeah, we've got to give out travel souvenirs, haven't we?
Yeah.
There's a lot of well, I think pretty much everyone that we've bought stuff for we haven't seen yet. So yeah, we've got to go and do a visit tonight because we've been putting it off. But yes, there'll be loads of videos coming up. That we talked about that earlier in the thing. If you're on Patreon, the vote is on now for the non-Essen games that have arrived. So is Dice Tower Con in Seattle, Steve? I've got a feeling that it is. Is it? I don't know. But yeah, we'll come to Seattle anyway and do... there's got to be some kind of Frasier tour, right? There'll be a lot of addendum to rules that you missed. What? Oh, Steve, playing with Steve, yeah. Steve would put you right on all of the rules for everything. Oh, it's in Orlando. Well, there's not enough time in Orlando holidays. You got to go to the parks 23 hours a day. Dice Tower West's in Las Vegas, and the other one's in Orlando. All right, well, know enough about kind of Orlando. I wonder if it's in that convention center we used to go past on the I-Ride trolley. Hey, way back when. Orlando aficionados now for the tiny, tiny touristy bit that we've been on. For international drive aficionados. Maybe one day, but I doubt it. It's expensive enough going there on holiday. I can only imagine once in a blue moon. Hey, Dice Tower Con, you surely need big name guests, right? Who's bigger in UK board games? That's from the Midlands. You need the Midlands represented. Carib, about 3 miles to Disney World. Okay, well, no, it's not where I was guessing it was, and I know where Disney World is. We had a disappointing time at Typhoon Lagoon this time, but hey, once it was brilliant there. Yeah, you need 2 guests, right? And you want to pay for those guests to stay there a couple of extra weeks so that they can go to the parks and stuff, right? I don't know when Dice Tower Con is. It probably doesn't line up with school holidays. So maybe just me. That makes it cheaper, Dice Tower. Like, yeah, we'll do... I don't know what top 10 do with the... Well, yeah, we do like top 10 dry, boring Euros. Top 10 Care Bear games. I've surely, like, at this point, Dice Tower have done every conceivable top 10. But it's in the first week of July. No. You could do that.
That's no good.
Oh no, school's still on first week of July, isn't it? Well, I would go out early to do Dice Tower Con, and then they would generously pay for us to... They would put us up in a hotel for a few weeks so that you could come and join us, and then we'll have a lovely Orlando time. Maybe. Yeah. I'm sure we could work out some kind of top 10. Some kind of Care Bear themed top 10 where, like, I don't imagine that they'd be that bothered about Care Bear elements in games. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. There's a lot of Dice Tower contributors now, isn't there? Tom and Tom, you've got to have me as a guest just for that, right? I met Tom Vassell once. He vaguely knew who I was. That's enough, right? But hey, maybe. Who knows what the future holds? For now, though, the end of the stream has to come. I will be back, as I said, in just over 24 hours at 8 p.m. tomorrow for Hadrian's Wall, catching up on Hadrian's Wall. Maybe Marty will be there. Who knows? Can't guarantee that. Can guarantee, hopefully, the continuation of our streak. Tom and Tom talk Care Bear games. I'm into it. But yeah, we'll see you then. Thank you, everyone, for watching and having a chat and supporting us in the places and making it all happen. The vote is up. You can vote on what you would like to see played through. And we'll see if you'd like to see us going through the American Monsters Horrified. We'll have a look. But yes, for now, see you very soon. And there'll be more streams and stuff next week. You can check out on Monday. There'll be plenty of stuff going up early on Patreon. There's games all over the place and they're getting played. Thanks, everyone, and see you very, very soon. Bye, bye, bye. No, I'm back. That's wrong. The credits are wrong. Hang on a minute. That's the old credits. There's people not getting credited. And I'm not going to allow that. Find the new video. Da-ba-da-ba-da. Apple event. What's going on at the Apple event? New iPhone. Maybe. Maybe it's time to get an iPhone. I haven't had an iPhone. What's mine? 11. Surely things have changed since then. It hasn't broke yet, though. I'm trying to be good this time. I want a sim-only thing. Right, I will definitely go. This is a bit of a... This is the bonus feature. Hopefully the right credits will now play. Bye, everyone. See you soon. And all the things that I did last time. Bye.